Okay. Let's see here. Who else do we want to try out? Well, for now, let's just stay with what we have. There's another smaller or more pointed guy we might grab. I finally got rid of the offending hair in this brush, and I feel like I like it more now. Could just be me and my weirdness, but I'm just like, this might have improved. I'm still kind of digging around with coloring, trying to figure out who I like better comboed. I don't know. So, it is art day. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Not sure who do I want to go where though. That's the next problem. Kind of feel like these two, but then these two are awfully close to each other. But that might be alright. Oh, knocking everything over. Alright. Alright, we'll go with foliage first. So, hope everybody's doing okay today. It is Sunday. It is art day. I'm gonna do some things and stuff. So, yay. If I can get the crusty off the top of the bottle here. Get my little trash can guy. Okay, so we got paint on ours already. Well, on our fingernail. Not that that's a huge surprise to anybody. I did not have time to clean my plate before we got started. My neck's still a little funny from last night, so, you know, that's a thing. Unfortunately. So, alright, see if I can get us somewhat in frame here. It's a limited room. Alright, so this is going to be our third session. I did a late night bonus session one day this week trying to get the watercolor sorted. Don't know if we're really going to be able to pull off the same sort of effect with like the stone washiness here, but that's okay. So this section is definitely going to need a couple of coats, and that's fine. I think a fuzzy tumbleweed just went rolling on through there. I had one yesterday that caught me out of the corner of my eye. It scared me because I thought there was a bug in here. And I was like, oh god, what just went flying past me? And then I realized it was a fuzzy, fluffy tumbleweed. Because, you know, you have pets, and the fluffy, fuzzy tumbleweeds happen. The only way they wouldn't happen would be if if we dusted and vacuumed every half hour. And if we didn't have quite so many fuzzy guys. So this particular section here, this is gonna be some greenery that we've got happening in the background. Maybe middle ground, we'll say. Yeah, let's go with middle ground. And middle plane. And we're not gonna do the chunky shapes like we did for the very background. I feel like this should be larger chunky pieces. Okay, we're gonna let that section dry there. Just to, you know, let it stand out a bit from the cut up sectioned sky and stuff. Yeah, so for those that were watching the Minecraft stream last night, it had to abruptly end. I was in the middle of doing something because I turned my head a funny way, and my neck was like, no, that's not what we're doing. And I could still move last night, but insides were very, very, very angry. And I was like, oh, okay. Not like spiking pain, but definitely felt very hot inside and under my skin. And I was like, we may have a problem. It's not great today. It still feels kind of the same as it did last night, but I think now I'm just in a pattern of, well, this isn't gonna fix itself overnight as much as I want it to, so I just kind of have to wait it out. So I don't know how long today's stream is gonna be. I do need to put the weight of this plate on the table though. It's not that heavy of a plate. I mean, it's got a little bit of weight to it, don't get me wrong. It is a Dollar Tree dinner plate, so I mean it's not like lightweight like a paper plate, that's for sure. It is ceramic stoneware. I don't know what the hell it is. Whatever they make the Dollar Tree plates out of. So it's a little heavy, but we need to not be holding that. Even the weight of that's a little much right now. It's not helping matters. That's for certain. So yeah, this shade's definitely gonna need a second coat here. But I am a little bit more pleased with this brush, I guess we'll say, since I got rid of that janky hair. It was like extra wiry or something, and the texture of it was leaving like a scrape line. I was finally able to isolate it, and I clipped it out with my nail clippers, and that was the smallest cutting device I had. And we don't have the weird line dragging through everything now, so I'm like, okay, cool. I just realized I forgot to set up a cup of water. Like our little mini thimble-like things of water. Sorry, I got the bottle next to me, I just didn't pour it out. So when we're done this project, we'll go back to our needle felting. And I know I still need to do the video on how I prep my yarn for that. I'll do that when I get down to time to make sure I have all the colors I need for that project ready. So it'll be happening, but a little bit later, because it's really not that exciting. I'm literally just cutting lengths of yarn and then running the brush through them. And I hold the yarn. Some people put it on, or like loop it through a notch in a piece of cardboard, because the little arms on the brush can tear up your fingers a little bit if you're doing a lot of it at one go. But I don't like the scritchy noise of the brush running against the cardboard, so I'd rather have the slightly roughed up thumb. Right now I am leaving spaces between these guys on purpose, just so I know where my lead lines are gonna sit. And I probably should have finished the water background first, but I kind of wanted to work on this top section a little bit more. And he's slowly coming together here. Now, if I wasn't doing it on stream, I probably would have been closer to being done by now. But since we are doing this together, I figured, what the heck, if I work on it, we'll be live. That sort of thing. Alright, so I'm just gonna get another pass of this color in here. I mean, sometimes you'll have to do a couple passes depending on how deep you want your color to be. It's just the nature of this paint. So if that's going to offend your sensibilities, then just use a different brand of paint, or a more heavy-bodied paint. We are using the acrylic craft paints. Why? Because they work for my budget and I had them anyway. This is what I would primarily paint with. I mean, I do have some of the Arteza stuff left, but I wanted to get back into these and use them before they go funky. So that is why we are using this paint. Plus, I mean, I have mixed feelings about the Arteza paint, but that might just be because I'm used to using these, and these dry really matte. And when they're dry, you know, they're dry. When I use the Arteza acrylic paint, make sure I specify the acrylic paint, it has a bit of a shine to it when it dries, so it kind of makes it hard to use on stream without kicking up a glare. These are very, very matte. Very matte. So I don't really have that issue with these guys. They'll be a little bit shiny while they're wet still. But once they dry, you know, there's no shine here. There won't be a shine unless we put a glossy finish on this guy. Don't know if I'm gonna do gloss or not. I think most of my sealers are matte because the glare annoys me. Don't know what sealer I'm using on this one yet. I have a spray sealer. I have a brush on glossy sealer. But they smell so bad. I actually really prefer to use Mod Podge as my sealer. I mean, is it as waterproof as some of the other ones? Probably not, but you're not supposed to be putting this out in the weather either. You shouldn't be using it as a coaster, so... I mean, Mod Podge is good enough to hang it on the wall. I wouldn't put it in a bathroom with a Mod Podge sealer on it, though. I don't know if the humidity would make it funky. So you can definitely see how that second coat darkens that up quite a bit. I mean, we still have a little bit of brush strokey streakiness happening in through there, but that's okay because we're going to come back with that other color. We might do a mixture of the two colors together. But I want to make sure that our base color is where we want it to be first. So how was everybody's weekend? I know the weekend's not quite over yet, but I'm sure it's getting there. It might be over for some of you, depending on where you're at. So we're gonna have to get creative on this beak, because the beak's gonna be mostly black. I've got to pull up my reference photo when we get to the flamingo itself. All of the background stuff was just stuff I put in. But the photo I'm using for the flamingo itself, I have to find it again. He was kind of standing in the background of a group that we'd taken a picture of, and I kind of honed in on him and kind of made him a little bit bigger. It was my own photo, though, that we took. I can't remember if I took that photo or if the husband did. One of us took it. But I'll remember to pop that one up when we get there. It's not going to be super realistic. I just want to get a look at how the face was colored. So we're probably going to have to go with a grayer black than a black on the beak, because, you know, black lead lines and stuff, so it'll just look like there's no beak there if we don't alter the face color a little bit. So last night there was showers in the area. They kind of, I don't even know if it hit the ground. We really needed that rain. Then there was more showers in the area earlier, and I don't think we got any of that. I think it went under us. And now they're saying we might get more storms, or a chance of storms for us personally in our neck of the woods later tonight. And I certainly hope so, because we definitely need it. We are under all kinds of burn bans. The entire multi-county area. I'm just rinsing that color green out now. Yeah. So what color was that? That was, I thought that was foliage. That was, no, that was foliage. Okay, I'm confused. Alright, that was foliage in the Anitas. I feel like we're gonna hit basil now. I don't use this color very much. I really should. Oh, it's got an air bubble. Alright, I'm not gonna put, come on. I didn't want to put too much down, but it was kind of exploding forth from the bottle. Alright, let's pick up our plate here. Alright, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of the foliage. No, the basil, excuse me. And just going to kind of work that in ever so lightly. Just, you know, some streaky lines. We're not doing like the full-on watery wash like we did on the backgrounds. And I don't want to completely cover our background color either, our base of our leaf. So we're just going to give him some little liney guys. Yeah, probably way too much of this color out for this, but oh well, now at least it wasn't that expensive. I just want to try to make sure that I'm staying on the leaf, that I don't get too carried away and hit our blue sky chips here. So not quite a dry brush, but you know, close. If you want to start putting that cheese in, handful and let it sit on top, and then like every 10 minutes or so. Sorry, husband's cooking for me. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but he's like, I'll babysit it, and I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. So, sorry about that. We're not adding cheese to the paint. Don't do that. Probably not go well. No cheesy paint. So I'm just kind of dipping in the tip of our brush. Don't want a whole lot of paint on there as we're coming in here. You can kind of see that. I mean, I should probably try to zoom in a little. So that you guys can get a better look-see. Sorry, only have the one camera at the moment, so. And it doesn't have an actual, doesn't really have any software with the camera, so I have to kind of zoom in with my recording software. And unfortunately that just involves me resizing the frame. And I could probably try to preset that, but I never know how zoomed in I really need to be, so sometimes it's just easier to to figure it out when the time comes. Alright, I am gonna rinse my brush real quick. Just because it's getting a little full of paint there. I'm just gonna dry it off on my painting towel here. It's not anything super special, it's just like a hand towel from like the bath section at whatever home goods store that you shop at, Walmart, Target, wherever. We had originally gotten them for the guinea pigs, but we didn't end up needing them, and I washed it real good. So we switched over to the fleece and different absorbent pads. And I saw no reason to actually get rid of it since, you know, it was clean, we bleached it and everything, so I was like, you know what, let's do this, and then I don't have to keep throwing away paper towels unnecessarily just to dry a brush off on. And yeah, it works. I haven't really washed the towel since it became a painting towel though. Maybe once. It's probably due for a washing, maybe the next time we wash bedding. I don't think there's anything on there that's gonna bleed off, but if it does, it can bleed off on the bedding, because that don't matter. I'd rather, if something is gonna bleed off, it bleeds off into that. Just doing short little strokes. Kind of like if you were sketching with a pencil, maybe. So if you're not sure how these colors are going to dry in the craft paint, again, go ahead and swatch them, because it looks pretty bright when it's going down, and it's drying quite a bit darker. Actually considering adding a little bit of white to this. Not much. Just a little. And coming back over the top of it and doing another pass just to get that a little bit lighter. Probably wouldn't be quite so bad of an idea. So what you all are seeing and what's in front of me looks totally different on the camera. That's fascinating. It's the way that the light is picking up. Is it this light that's being funny? Okay, it was kind of that light. Let me see. Like, it looks different on the... There we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit closer. Okay. That's alright, we can kind of paint in the dark. I've done it before. That's weird. See, it doesn't look that streaky on mine, like in person, which is why we always do photos afterwards, so you can really get the full extent of what things look like. So funny how the cameras will pick up on certain pigments in the shades and be like, nope, this is the one that we're gonna emphasize. And it's like, really? Like, what are you doing there? So when we try to take the photos for the shop, we try to do them in sunlight. And I've never had a problem with the digital camera shading being off. Alright, so it actually looks completely different on camera than what I'm looking at. That is weird. Ooh, that's chunky. That white has seen better days. Alright, I'm just gonna scoop a little bit of white. And a little bit of our basil. This is sort of becoming a celery color. I have celery, I think. I'm not sure how dark that celery color is going to be though, so you, I think, are a weird clumpy bit. It's so warm in here, the paint's already drying with a ring around the edges of it. That's crazy. Alright, we need a little bit more white. I'm not even sure. No, I'm not even in frame. I do need this. It's not quite light enough. That might be light enough. Like, I don't want to go super light. Right, let me rinse my brush. Brush got kind of goopy there. Alright. Rinsed and dried up a little bit. So now that we've got this slightly lighter color, we're going to be real careful with that. So we don't want to get too carried away with it. Just want some little bits. So almost dry brushing this one on. Almost. start to get this worked in. So hopefully it won't be as hot as they're worried about it being this week. Uh-oh, I hear a Momo. What's up, Momo buddy? I can't ever tell if Momo's just mad that his brother's in the bed with him or if he's gurring.
Yeah, he doesn't seem particularly enthused.
Because he wants something. But Momo's been getting a little more possessive of the dog bed lately. Which I find kind of hilarious. Because he's not really a dominating personality. He's very, very submissive. And he usually just kind of goes with whatever Zuzu does. So to actually see him get feisty about something, like, oh, well, this is different. But ever since he hurt himself, he's not too keen on sharing that dog bed. And for a while, Zuzu was pretty good about not crowding him or laying on top of him so that he could stretch out. But Zuzu's been getting a little pushy lately when it comes to who's gonna control the dog bed. And he's just like, nope, I'm gonna be in there. Which is funny, because lately he's been in with my mom, and that's usually where he is in the afternoon, so I'm kind of surprised he's in here. Because it's not exactly cooler in our room. And that's for sure. It's a bit toasty in here today. What's the matter, Momo? I can keep. He has this little tiny growl when he's irritated. He goes grrr. But he uses the same grr for multiple things, so I never know what his deal is. It could be, oh, you're eating. I want some of that. Can you shares, please? I'm here. I'm ready for the sharing. It could be, I need to go out and go potty. Or it could be, brother's doing something and I'm not happy about it. Never know. I never know what it is. Okay. Alright, so we got that one in place. Now. Alright, so those two colors are done for now. I'm not sure if I really like that color combo. Alright, we're gonna hit up the hunter green now. Oh. Alright. Oh, hunter green is goopy. Come on. Let go. Alright, sometimes it gets a little stringy as the paint gets older in the containers. That's pretty normal for this paint, or for all the craft paints as far as I've seen over the years. It's still usable around the coagulated bits, shall we say. Alright, we're kind of in frame here. Alright, so I'm going to start to put in foliage bits that are hanging down here. So this might just kind of run together up here a little bit. I'm tilting my plate and I didn't realize it. I probably should have used the smaller flower palettes today. This plate guy is a little heavy. Oh. Alright, I got a little close. We can clean that up though. We can clean that up with our outlines. I'm kind of surprised it feels quite so dark in here. Alright, probably because the light that I'm using at the moment is our only light on in here. Alright, so for simplicity's sake, I'm probably just going to solid paint the edge here, and then we'll come back in and line it up accordingly when we get there. So the angle's gonna be a little funny with my arm in the way here for a minute. So how much cheese do you think you put in?
I've put in a total of 6 handfuls.
Alright, let that go for a little bit.
Okay.
I would still stir it like every 15 or so, and we'll let that kind of do its thing for like another half an hour or so before we start tasting it. Okay. So I know on the other one we tried to keep some line separation happening, but that was a lot easier to do with the other one. I mean, we're still going to be having line separation when we put in our outlines here on this, but this will just make things a little bit easier since we have the weird angles and stuff happening. All right. So I think before I went live, our temps were 97 Fahrenheit with with a feels like of 101. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know what it is now. Fuzzes. I think I picked up fuzz on the plate. That plate lately seems to be a magnet for the fuzzes. This brush might be joining my favorite brush club. Because so far, after we fixed it, it's putting down the paint pretty good. And pretty darn good, I think. All things considered. I mean, it's not a high-end brush by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm sure there are brushes that will perform better. Ha. I thought I was seeing a fuzz in there. The light was hitting it just so. And then I wasn't sure if it was just a glare off of the wet paint. I have another brush that I like to do tapped in kind of textured background. Like, I almost sponged the background on this one, but then I was like, you know, I don't know. Like, we can always save that for another project. I do have some smaller sponges. I actually have a huge sponge I bought when we were in Key West last. Like, it's big enough to be a hat. So I have plenty of sponge. How's everybody doing? How's your summer going? Oh, the clicky click in the background is the husband?
Sorry.
It's okay, I'm just explaining for those that are new here. Husband has a mechanical keyboard. So when he's typing to someone, you're gonna hear some clicky clicks, or when he's looking something up. Alright, so that got a little close there, but that's alright. We can fix it. We can fix it. We won't be fixing it for a while, but we will be getting around to cleaning that up. It's kind of why I like doing the outline painting, so if my brush gets a little carried away. Sorry, my chair squeaks whenever I lean. I leaned too far the one day and almost fell out of it, or the chair almost tipped. So I was like, oh. Like, no thank you, chair, don't do that. So yeah, just me like leaning over to grab more paint, it's gonna squeak. But yeah, I do like doing this type of painting because then I can come back in and outline everything and clean it up. Now my lines will have to be pretty precise, so I have a liner brush that I'm gonna try out of this new set, like a finer point on it. But I'll also have to make sure that our paint's a little watered down. Not like wash watered down, but we're gonna need it to flow a little bit more than how it's gonna come out of the bottle, so. When we get to that point, and if you think you've got paint starting to dry in your brush, by all means, go ahead and do a maintenance rinse. Nothing's stopping you. There's no rule that says you can't rinse partway through. I mean, I know we hate to especially if we've mixed a color and then some are like, oh, we're wasting the color. But it's better to do a maintenance rinse and then blot your brush dry than to have paint starting to dry in there, because paint drying in the brush is no good. That's not going to get you very far. And with some paint, no amount of soaking is going to get that out of there, and you really shouldn't leave your brushes in the water anyway. Especially if they're wood handles, because then I can speak from experience. The wood will soak up the water and it will expand, and that pretty enamel coating that's on the outside of your brush, or the painted coating on there, that's gonna split. And I know some people are probably like, yeah, Frank, get the fuck out of here. No, it will. I've witnessed it. It most definitely will. And then you'll have that coating on the outside chipping off, and you'll probably still have paint stuck in your brush because it dried there. So just, don't let your brushes soak. It's not gonna help in the slightest. So you can definitely tell that I'm streaming during a more busy time of day, or a more normal time of day, shall we say, for the area. There's definitely people bustling about. You can hear the traffic. The other night when we did a stream, the bonus art stream, there was like 2 or 3 cars that went by in the background. But otherwise, it was relatively quiet. Alright. I was trying to be a little bit careful in this spot because we are going around another bit of foliage here. Okay. I've been slowly sliding, so let's drag ourselves back here. Yeah, we'll say I am definitely falling more in love with this brush. Absolutely. So what are any projects you guys are working on? Doesn't have to necessarily be with paint. Do you knit? Do you crochet? Do you do punch art? Do you do the rug stuff? Latch hook or the other stuff? Like the actual rug machine? I've seen people use that rug machine. It looks kind of intimidating, but it also looks heavy. I don't know if I could do that, because everybody's standing up using it. It also looks like it takes up quite a fair bit of space. With the way the big frame is that the backing has to be hung up on, or attached to. Do you do mixed media? I would like to see a mixed media tag here on the Twitchy Poos. Last time I did a mixed media project, I did not see it as an option. They may have added it since, but did not see it, because when we do our tissue paper art, technically that would be mixed media since we're using tissue paper, glue, canvas, and I do a base painting in there underneath. Oh, I don't think that was supposed to be of palm frond. Oops-a-doodles. Oh well, it's one now. That might have supposed to have been sky. Oops. Oh well. Oh well now. That's for sure. I mean, hell, do you scrapbook? I mean, that's kind of an art form in and of itself. trying to put in or set up page layouts and stickers and stamps, and I'll tell you, that's one expensive hobby. That sneaks up on you. Like your base background papers, oh, this is like 25 cents. This is 15 cents. This is 50 cents. But they get you on the embellishments. Holy hell. It's like, oh, this sticker's cute. Wait, this sticker's how much? For 4 stickers? Are you kidding me? Y'all, I've spent some money on stickers. Probably an embarrassing amount of money on stickers. Over the years. I don't scrapbook anymore, but I used to. I don't know if this color is necessarily going to get a second coat. It might get a quick second coat pass. Probably won't get too fussy. Okay, now I'm gonna have to tilt this up to get the side here. So. Probably not going to really see this part. We are just gonna kind of coat in this section here. Oh, my hand started shaking. Like the one holding the canvas started shaking. That was weird. Alright. So, get the edge rub in. Now you don't necessarily have to do the edges, especially if you're gonna frame it. Like I would get the rounded sides, like this little guy in there, but you don't necessarily have to do the flat side. I am, because I don't know if it's going to be displayed in a frame or not. And I know traditionally the gallery wrap ones aren't. This isn't a gallery wrap though.
I added a touch of sugar.
Really more?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay. It didn't need anything else?
No, you'll need to taste it eventually, but...
Alright. If you'll bread me, I will do so. Just a small piece.
Sorry, I didn't hear the request at first.
Alright, so we're not gonna see much at the moment. Because I need to see what I'm doing. And I can't paint in the camera. Like using the camera as my guide. I'm not that good, so we've gotten that side filled in. I'm gonna do one more maintenance rinse here. Okay, so for future it was probably a little too much pepper.
Okay, either that or too much Italian seasoning. I'm not sure which.
I think it was a little too much pepper. There's a little bit of heat there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still edible. It's fine.
Mm.
As long as you're okay with
Do
it.
you need any more garlic or anything?
I mean, you could put just a tiny bit.
Well, if you're happy with it, we'll go with it.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that was definitely a lot of pepper.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't know what you do to counteract pepper. I don't think there's anything you can.
Not really.
Husband was determined to measure out the amounts that I put in the sauce when I don't know the amounts that I put in. I just kind of be like, that looked good. But I wasn't sure quite how much I normally put in.
Yeah, a touch more sugar helped a little.
What's it on? I would turn it down to 2.
Okay.
And I would maybe move to stirring it like every 15 to 20. Okay. So just gonna do a real quick sort of second pass here. Just to darken this up a little bit. So this was Hunter Green in the Anita's acrylic. Can't remember if I said what color we had grabbed. I'm kind of feeling like the sorbet that I grabbed to highlight this might be a lot. Just see here. I might see what the sorbet and the Hunter Green look like combined together. Whatever terminology you want to use. We might mix a little bit of those two together just to see. I don't know if it's going to make mud or not. if the color looks a little too funky, then we'll just grab a different upper color, lighter color. All right. I mean, we could stick some of the foliage color on here and save the sorbet for over here. That could be what we do, but that foliage color is very dark. And I was hoping to grab something to lighten this a bit. So we will see how that goes. I'm just kind of quickly putting in, not kind of lightly scrubbing, not too viciously, but kind of getting this other coat . Just kind of worked into the tooth of the canvas a little bit. Now, I did not do another coat of primer on this. I'm just using it how it came. It came primed. I know some people will throw another coat or two of gesso on their canvas themselves. And I have gesso. But I didn't really feel like we needed to for this. What was on there seemed pretty good. There is a fuzz that I can see. However, it was in the layer underneath. Like, it's not lifting up with our brush. So, like, what the heck's going on here? That's because it was partially attached already. So I've got kind of this, like, gloppy paint clot on the on my plate here. I'm just trying to kind of tap it with the top of my brush, trying to pick up the wet paint that's attached to it. I hate wasting paint. I probably go a little too far to try to not waste paint sometimes, but now more than ever I'm like, nope, I can't waste the paint. It was $1. I can get another color, probably like another bottle. It probably won't be the exact shade since it'll be a different brand, but I mean, I can get more eventually. We'll go back to Apple Barrel that I used to use. I was pretty happy with Apple Barrel. At least when I used to use it. I don't know if they've changed anything with their formula over the years or not, because it's been some time since I've used it. Okay, and I'm probably gonna have to tilt this up again, at least a little bit, just to get that edge cleaned up a bit. Oh, okay, yeah, that side edge definitely needs another quick pass here. It's a little thin. Alright, same with the top edge here. Doesn't have to be super fussy, but it definitely needs that. Okay, now I'm gonna rinse our brush really good. I want to get one of those paint pucks eventually, but that means I'll have to use a larger container of water. So the paint pucks are like these little silicone sea anemones that you put in the in your bottom of your water container, and it helps knock the paint out of your brush a little bit easier. Alright, so I'm just debating on the color I want to go with. Sorry, I got distracted by something. That's, okay. So, do I want to pull out another shade of green? Or, alright, well, you know what, let's take a little bit of our sorbet color here. See, I got a little clumpy too. I need a little bit more of the oh yeah, that hunter's getting really glumpy. They're not all like that. So let me grab a little bit of these two. Well, that's an interesting shade. I mean, it's not terrible. I think that would maybe allow us to use the sorbet as a highlight color. Yes, I mix my paint with my paintbrush. Oh noes, I am a heathen. I mean, I'm sure it's because it's better for the brush if you don't do that, but I prefer doing it the way I prefer doing it. Alright, so we're just going to pick up a little bit of that. That's still very, very bright. We will see if it retains that level of brightness. As we go along here. I'm just gonna barely touch into the sorbet color. And just try to barely. I don't want to be the width of the brush here. I don't want to just like splay it out. I just want to get some more just kind of sketchy lines in there. I'm trying to follow, like, the way my brain is thinking. These little leafy guys would be hanging. So we kind of put it in where there's a little bit of a curve to it, so. Amazing how bright that looks on the other color when it didn't really look all that bright on the plate. Back into the sorbet without any of the hunter added to it. Alright, and then back into our mixture here. Okay. Were you happy with it?
I'm actually more happy with it now.
What'd you do to it?
That little bit of sugar may have helped with the pepper, or it might just be that some of the pepper sharpness is boiling out.
Oh, you added more sugar after I tasted
once,
it?
Yeah, after I tasted it first time, I added a little bit. Then I had you taste it.
And you added more?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not after that.
Oh, okay.
But now it's sat there and boiled for a little bit. There seems a little less burn to the pepper.
Okay.
So I just had a meatball sandwich. It was pretty good.
Alright, do you still want pasta for dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the rare times that we do eat together, we kind of have to coordinate what exactly we're doing here, so. Alright, let's hit up a little bit of the sorbet, and if you think you've gotten a little too much on the tip of your brush, that was almost an interesting boo-boo. Don't be afraid to touch your palette somewhere on the edge, or a paper towel or something, to knock a little bit of it off. Alright, it's a little heavy-handed, but I think we'll be alright. We're experimenting. Alright, what have we been saying? We need to not be afraid to make mistakes. piece of fuzz. I wanted to try to get that out of there. I need to be able to play with our supplies. And we need to give ourselves the green light, I guess. It's okay if something doesn't work out. So I think sometimes we just get so afraid that we're going to ruin something, or that we're going to fail at doing the thing that we want to try to do, that we talk ourselves out of even attempting it. I'm fully guilty of that. I mean, we all saw me trying to do the Bob Ross tutorials and how terrified I was of fucking it up. Gotten a little better about it, but I mean, there's also times where we have to make an executive decision when we're working on a much smaller surface than he is about, you know, putting that big bold tree in there is like, for the space that we have, that might be a little much there, Bob. Just a little. Go back into our sorbet hunter mixture. This all kind of streaked in here. All right. Do need to tilt this up just a little, well, a lot really, so I can see where we're at. Probably should have went with a finer brush for this, but oh well now. But yeah, if I had to do it again from scratch, I would probably use a much finer brush. Alright. Almost done in this one. Oh, that was a little thick. A little bit thicker than I wanted. I don't know why I'm suddenly getting so much heavier with this brush, unless as I'm using it. It's just spreading out more. Which, you know, possible. I still like it. Alright, sorry, I did have to tilt up there a bit. I'm just hitting the sorbet one more time. Just to get a little bit more in here with that. All right. So let's brushy do. Really good. I'm going to dry that off on our towel as much as I can. Okay, so for the next one, which is going to be our friend here. I think I need a different color of greens. Give me 1 second. I need to dig through my drawer of paint here. Oh, that's heavy. Okay. Where am I stuck? Stuck on that. Okay. Let's see. That's a heavy guy there. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I had to get my flashlight out. You'll look at our colors. So, this guy. Alright, so this is leaf green. And we'll pair it with lime. Probably not the best color combo, but I could change my mind when we get in there. We could reverse it and hit it with the hunter. I mean, we could not be able to get the bottle open. What is happening? There we go. Sometimes those pesky bottles. Oh wait, I was gonna use the other. Let me see, I think I have one that's clean. Yes. Alright. So I have another one of these little palette guys that I had picked up for an art project. I actually thought these were a little bit bigger. Come on. Get your glompy self out of the bottle, please. Come on. I think I see why you were quite so problematic here. Okay, sometimes you just gotta get a piece of paper towel or toilet paper and just grab the glompy thing that's sticking off the end. Multi-purpose toilet paper. I wouldn't dry my brushes on it because that's gonna get a little linty, but it's what I have for tissues right now, so. And I really didn't want that getting all gunked up in my painting towel. That would have been a problem. Are we in frame? Kind of. Okay. Do you like this lily pad color? We might be using this color again on our cattails. There at the bottom. These aren't any specific types of leaves. I just kind of went in there and was like, yeah, the shape looks good. But we're not really basing it off of anything super specific. Definitely not like color-wise or anything. Hell, if you want your leaves to be shades of purple, then go for it. It's your project, my friend. If you want the added whimsy of your foliage being whatever color you want, then do it. Might as well, right? So this base color is just going to be a little bit... I keep feeling I'm off frame because I can see the edge of it wrapping around this side of the canvas. Just feels like it's ending abruptly. Yeah, so this first pass is going to be super rough. Just trying to get some color tossed down in here. Although there's a huge shadow from my hand, so I don't know if you're really going to see what I'm doing all that well. I can kind of see. like I said, I really need to... If things were more ideal, the one section of my desk would be on the other side of it. And the lighting would definitely be to my left since I'm right-handed. But you don't think about these things at first, and then I can't even really change it now because the cords won't reach properly, and there's no room. There's just no room. So for now, we're just gonna have to deal with it this way. Not so much of an issue when we're doing needle felting. Well, I did have an idea for a painting where I saw someone on YouTube saying that they were taking They were taking felt flowers and they attached them to like a base painting, like they painted on some of the stems and leaves and then added like the flower heads and a couple of the leaves. But they weren't really felt, they were more like fake flowers that you would just pick up at the craft store or the dollar store or something. So I was thinking, well, hey, what if we actually needle felted some flowers, cut them out, like cut the excess off around them, and then glued them down to an actual painting. Same kind of idea, but we'll be making the flowers ourselves. Oh, just a thought for a later project down the road. Can't remember who gave me the idea for it. Who was the YouTube person? Because I want to give credit where credit is due, who inspired me. I think it was Drawing with Waffles. I think that's who it was. Because when I saw felt flowers, I was like, wait, did they needle felt the flowers? I'm like, oh, that would be interesting. But it just looked like store-bought fake flowers, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Multi-mixed media, your little heart's content, guys. I was just like, oh, we could add an extra layer by actually making the flowers ourselves. It was just an idea. Don't know if we'll actually end up doing it, but something to think about at least. Alright, I'm gonna tilt this up. Whoa, don't knock over our drink. That would be a straight up travesty today. Alright. have to tilt this guy up so we can see what on earth we're doing over here. This is a nice shade of green. Okay. I'm actually gonna fill that edging in there a little bit more. Okay. So it kind of feels more like a spring green to me, although I guess it could be kind of like close to a lily pad shade. Alright, I'm just gonna tilt this guy up one more time. Was she starting to make dinner yet?
I haven't. I haven't seen her out there yet.
Okay. So we will get this guy filled in here. And I am dragging the brush fully across just to get out any extra paint and buildup we've got going on there. This guy's gonna get a second coat anyhow. Here in just a second. Okay. So I'm gonna rinse my brush, because there's no reason not to. Alright. Get this all rinsey-rood. Sorry, I rinsed that twice because I was still seeing some paint in there that I wasn't expecting. I'm just gonna give that a minute to dry there. So, while that's drying, see what else we got going on here. So what's everybody been up to? Because I realize I'm off frame a little bit. Okay. Anybody have any exciting plans coming up for the summer? What's left of the summer? Sorry, I saw a notification on something, so... And we're waiting for this to dry anyway. Because I don't want to pull the paint back up off of there. So it's currently 98 degrees here, Fahrenheit, with a feels like of 105. Oof. Oh. Oh, I want that thunderstorm. Come back. Come back, we need the rain. It's sitting over Fayetteville. Damn. We live outside of Fayetteville, so that's sad. Well, that's a lot of lightning on the map. Oh my. Remember, guys, if you hear thunder, go inside. It ain't worth getting electrocuted for. That's for damn sure. Alright, that should be dry enough for us to continue. So August is going to be a very busy month coming up. I don't know why there's so much going on in August, but there is. So, my birthday's in the beginning of August. Husband's is not exactly in the middle of August, but not at the end of August either. Towards the later half of August, let's say. The parents' anniversary is in August. The WoW Challenges podcast anniversary is in August. We have a meeting we have to do the end of August. There's the craft fair is at the is it the end of August this year? Whenever Labor Day weekend is this year. I don't know, I haven't been looking at the dates. I'm not participating in the craft fair. But my dad was being weird about wanting to go. There's no point in Russell and I going because we have no money to spend. Like, zilch. So we might just watch the parade and make our own funnel cake and lament over not being able to go. Although, depending on how fucking hot out it is, I might not even want to. Because it gets so hot. Even though it's outside, you get that many people packed in. There's like no airflow. On a normal day, not exceedingly excessive heat day. So I'm actually kind of hoping it's going to be super uncomfortably hot and my dad's going to change his mind about wanting to go. Because the last time he wanted to go and he's like, but I want to see the parade. I'm like, you can see the parade out the front. It goes right past the house, remember? You can do that. I'm fine with that. You can't miss the parade going by. You have to make sure that the front of the house is in somewhat of a tidied up state for that. Since, like, the whole town's gonna be staring at it. Sad I don't have my elephant ears this year, but I mean, we planted them, and the ones that we planted in the backyard, those came up and were doing pretty good, but the ones in the planters our planter buckets didn't do so well this year, and it's probably because we weren't really watering consistently because, you know, water bills. And we couldn't really put the strain of the increased water bill on us this year. So maybe next year. We're going to leave the bulbs in the containers this winter and see if they come back. Because the directions on the bulbs when you plant them say to bring them inside at the end of the season if your temperatures get below a certain degree point. But we've seen other people that have them in their yards that are always in the same spots, and I don't think they ripped them out of the ground and replanted them. So we're gonna do that experiment this year. And hopefully we don't have to replace a shit ton of elephant ear bulbs. Because I think I have like 12 of them. Yes?
Did you want a nice beverage?
Yeah, could I have a pretzel too?
Yeah.
If she's feeling generous. If not, no big deal.
Okay.
Had a feeling that was what was going to happen.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised she didn't send me elsewhere, but they said they wanted Sonic, so hey.
Yeah, Sonic's expensive. Sonic's expensive to us.
Well, they tend to get cheaper stuff, but still.
Yes, we tend to find it a little expensive for what it is. At least for our Sonic. I mean, a lot of the times when you get the tater tots, they're so overdone, they're almost hollow inside. Sometimes. Not all of the time, but sometimes. I'm like, where's the potato? I've had that happen on a couple of them where they were so crunchy they just disintegrated. I was kind of like, yeah, this is kind of expensive. I mean, some other stuff's okay. Like, the milkshakes are fine. The sundaes are okay for what we've gotten. Their pretzel stick's fine. At least at our location. The slushies are fine. I'd rather have an icy, but I've only seen them at Come and Go. I don't know if Casey's has ices, like icy brand ices. So the slushes from Sonic are kind of like the next option on the list. Alright. Usually whenever we go, well, I say it like we're on the road all the time. When we had to go out of state the couple of times to move parentals, and when we went to Florida a few years ago, it's one of our road trip traditions is that I get an icy wherever I can. Because you can't always get them, but you know, we have our road stop preferences. So okay, so here's a question for you guys. Look, a little streaky in there. So if you guys ever go on road trips, do you have a favorite rest plaza that you prefer? Do you prefer Love's? Do you prefer Flying J? Do you prefer Pilot? Or do you prefer just like the to load up on groceries and coolers and stuff and make your own sandwiches and food and things to carry with you? Like, we'll load up on car snacks. We are not shy about loading up on the car snacks. Sorry, I laugh because I remember the last time we went to the zoo. We spent like $20 on car snacks for a 4-hour ride round trip. But some of what we spent was also stuff to eat while we were there, because zoo food was a little expensive. So husband had gotten like a bunch of granola bars, and I got like a Sorrento's fast break that had like the cheese and the nuts and the stuff, and I got a pre-made salad kit thingy. So we didn't have to really buy anything. I think the only thing food-wise we bought at the zoo was, I think we got an order of French fries to split between us. We got funnel cake sticks because we were wanting something sweet. And we got a refillable cup. So, like, you spend X amount of dollars on a cup that you can just get refilled for the rest of the day for like $1 or something. Or it was free every so many minutes or something. I think we only refilled it twice, but it was still nice to have, because then we didn't have to worry about blowing through all of our beverages, because you could bring food in there. It just couldn't be in like glass containers or anything, so we had frozen water bottles that we packed in around it, and that kept it cold. Plus we went before it had gotten a little too hot, so everything was good there. Sorry, I'm just checking to see if that's dry yet. It's not quite dry. So we're gonna hit this with the lime. Oh, everybody's getting the air bubbles. Everybody's got a bad case of the air bubbles here today. Alright. So I'm going to mix a little bit of the lime. And a bit of our lily pad, which looks strangely close to the sherbet. And the hunter, not sherbet, sorbet. I mean, the sorbet and the lime are pretty damn close. So I'm just kind of hitting the lily pad here a little bit, and then I'm kind of hitting our blended concoction here. I'm just gonna hit the straight line here. Sorry for the weird thunking noise. The canvas kind of tapped the disc there. I think one of the corners might be slightly not sitting flat. Maybe. Try to be a little bit more gentle when I set my hand down there. So this I'm just going to kind of play back and forth a little bit. Just a little. So just kind of blending those guys together. Probably gonna have to mix a little bit more of our in-between color here. And that's okay. Not a huge deal if that happens. Just try to get it a little bit close to what it was. Probably gonna be a little harder. To make happen there. So I'm just kind of grabbing a little bit more of our lily pad here and hitting the edges up just to soften or blend out that transition a little bit more. And you do what you want to do. If you'd rather it be all one color, then make it all one color. If you'd rather do whimsical line art in there with your lighter colors, then go for it. Is your creation. And you should treat it as such. I think it's getting a little too bright in some spots. Add a little more of the darker lily pad. It's allowed. It'll be okay. I promise. And since this is acrylic paint and you don't like it, paint over it and start again. That is more than allowed too. Not like you are stuck with something you don't like forever and ever in this case. Just set it.
You sure?
Yeah, that section's dry.
Crutch stick's not bad. I have to eat a straw.
Okay. Thank you. Parents bought the snacky, so usually when they get takeout for dinner, they get us something, but we were already cooking. And we'd already decided we were gonna have pasta. And I don't know if the husband got anything.
No. Well, I did just steal another Buddy or pretzel. It is shockingly good. Don't think I ever tried it before.
Yeah, it's not bad. But, sometimes we'll actually get full-on dinner. Depends on where they get from. But we did not pay for that. They did. I'm just kind of blending in a little bit of the lily pad here to our center vein, center support. I don't know. Our plant rib, whatever the hell you want to refer to it as. I'm not sure if it's exact terminology. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit more of our dark color. Get that worked in there. Oh, so back to my earlier question about favorite rest stops. Husband and I prefer Pilot. I think Flying J is run by the same people. So I'm not really sure why they have two different names unless one bought the other. But we prefer Pilot, and then I guess it really depends on your area, because there was a sheets place that we came across in Pennsylvania one time. They were okay, but I still prefer Pilot to them. Pilot, Flying J, and then I think Love's. Love's is alright. But Love's always feels a little more chaotic inside. I'm sure it's just an illusion, but I don't know. The couple of Loves that we've been in have felt kind of cramped too. Like everything kind of feels closed in on each other. Like the aisles feel tight and stuff. So I do prefer Pilot. And Pilot usually has the snackies that I enjoy. Alright, I am going to rinse my brush because it's getting a little sticky. And not in a good way. Never good to have a sticky brush. Ever, ever. Okay. I'm gonna have to turn or pick this up, tilt it a little bit here. I'm probably gonna have to get a bit more of our lily pad color down here. Alright, so I'm just in that middle color. And then we'll hit the straight line here. Let's get a little bit of a brighter flare to that. Alright, where is our... There's our... Nope. Oh, were we using leaf? No, we weren't using leaf. We were using lily pad. Am I crazy? I had lily pad in my hand. Oh, I must have put it back. I'm sorry, we've been using leaf green. Shit, I keep saying lily pad all this time. We're using leaf green. My apologies. I had lily in my hand, excuse me. And apparently, I put it back. Sorry, our middle mixture was starting to dry out there a little bit. I didn't have that much of it mixed. I wasn't really sure how much of it we were gonna need. So these little palettes are helpful when you're in a small space. I will say that. Alright, so we're back into the leaf green. Apologies. I don't even know what color I'm using. It's been that kind of day. Alright, are you hungry? Did you want to start the water?
It's up to you.
I don't know how hungry you are, so.
I'm not that hungry.
Okay. I know the water's gonna take a bit.
You just take your time. Whenever you're ready, we'll have dinner.
Okay. What time is it? Oh. You know what? Yeah, go ahead and start the water. I did not realize we were getting to be that late. I didn't think we'd started that late, but... yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll start our pasta water. Because this leaf is probably going to be it for today, because my neck is starting to get kind of pissy. My neck has had more than enough fun for today. And I still have things to do tonight, so Unless it storms. If it storms, then what I have to do will be reduced, at least for a little while. But we still need to get some stream prep done for, I guess I can put this down now, for Wednesday. I'm almost done, but I'm not quite there. So, add some salt to the water,
Yeah.
please. Thank you. It's been very helpful today with my neck being completely fucked. Or at least extremely unhappy, put it that way. I guess completely fucked would be, not being able to move. So we're not quite that level of DEFCON, oh no. We got close. We didn't quite get to that level of oh no's.
Alright, well, let's get started.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost done this part here. Just have another leaf and a half to go. I wasn't sure if this was gonna quite look how I wanted it to be, but I think it's better that we went this way instead of all the little tiny like tile shapes like the background. I'm glad that we have that in the background, but I think doing the whole thing would have been more of a mosaic tile feel. So I am pretty happy so far with the direction that this is traveling in. Sorry, I have to tilt that up just a little. Some more of our middle color here. In more ways than one. Okay, let's hit that up just a little bit with the straight lime. Okay, get that kind of blended in there a bit. Okay, some more of our leaf green. I feel like such an idiot for kept calling it lily pad. It wasn't. I know I have a lily pad. And I know I had it in my hand. And I saw the L, so I guess I just thought that's what I grabbed. I know I was debating over the two. So let me see, how far to the edge do we need to be... Alright, so let's grab some more of our... I can't see our middle color here. Oh, we're almost out of our middle color, that's why. Like, I don't feel like I'm grabbing any. Probably because we're not really. Alright, so I'm trying to work a little bit faster, getting this middle color in. I'm trying to use the leaf green there to kind of blend it in, to kind of blend in our edges here. Hi, little. Oh, she didn't meow. She usually does. I heard her nail get caught. Oh, maybe it's my. We gotta do kitty nails. Actually, everybody needs their nails done. Usually when the cats start making tapping noises with their nails on the floors when we try to get everybody. I have a couple of throw rugs down in our room to help keep Momo from sliding quite so much, so we can get a little bit steadier purchase. And it sounded like somebody's nail got caught in the rug there. Alright, you guys. That I think is pretty good. Let me just rinse off my brush. And then we will zoom back out to get a better look at what we got happening here. And get a more overall feel for how we're doing here. Alright, so the review is gonna get a little weird here for a second. Alright, so that's not looking half bad. I mean, we're just looking at the top, but not bad, not bad. You can see our flamingo sketch filling in here. This isn't quite as drastic as it looks on the screen. It's just the way the lighting's hitting it. But, you know, we still have to come back in with our line work around everything. So next session, I can't necessarily say next week because I might have time and might want to work on this before next Sunday. So next session we will move to the bottom half here. Look out, paint bottle. We'll move back to the bottom half and we'll start to get our background water tiles in place, and that will probably take a full session, if not two. I'm just warning you because we're doing the wash over top of the darker color. So that will be our next agenda, and then we've got some cattails to work in there, and then we'll move to the flamingo on top of them. So, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. I greatly appreciate it. We're gonna go see, I guess, Zort's is streaming something. He's streaming Fall Guys. So let's go see Zortles. If I can spell it right. And I will see everybody maybe for some Mikeless Minecraft later tonight or tomorrow. But if I don't see you before then, we'll be doing Wild Challenges stuff on Wednesday. So have a good weekend, everybody.